Hello and welcome to Korere, platform for big conversation. My name is Godwin Sunday. Now, as political parties begin to position themselves ahead of the 2027 elections, conversations around party primaries are once again taking the central stage. Over the years, the party primaries in Nigeria have been marked by disputes, allegation of imposition, internal party crises, and legal battles that often spill into the courts. From questions of delegate selections of concerns about transparency and fairness, the process continues to generate controversies across different political parties. The Electoral Act was introduced to strengthen internal democracy and improve the credibility of the electoral process. But many Nigerians still question how effective those provisions have been in addressing recurring challenges within party structures. With political activities already building up, the conduct of party primaries may play a major role in shaping public trust, party unity, and the credibility of the 2027 elections. Tonight on Correro, we examine party primaries, the controversies surrounding them, and the role of the Electoral Act in Nigerians' democratic process. Well, joining me tonight is Comrade Jacob Akpanachi. Who will be helping us put all of these issues in perspective. Please stay with us as the conversation begins immediately after this break. These issues even in perspective by creating some form of a background understanding, so you understand where all of this conversation is building from. Now, party primaries are the internal elections conducted by political parties to select candidates for effective offices such as president, governor, senator, house of representatives, and the state assemblies, as the case may be. Now, not also forgetting that councillors also emerge largely also from primaries. Now, under Nigeria's electoral framework, political parties are expected to conduct primaries in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Electoral Act, the Constitution and guidelines of each political party, regulations issued by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the Electoral Act also, and among other documents. Well, the Electoral Act recognizes three major methods of party primaries: direct primaries, where all registered party members vote; indirect primaries, where selected delegates vote on behalf of members; then, of course, the consensus arrangement, where candidates agree to adopt one aspirant, provided it is voluntary. Now, the recurring controversies surrounding party primaries have broader implications. Party primaries remain the foundation of Nigeria's electoral democracy. However, persistent issues such as candidate imposition, money politics, delegate manipulation, and judicial disputes continue to undermine the credibility of the process. While the Electoral Act introduced significant reforms, effective enforcement, stronger internal democracy, and political will are necessary to ensure that the primaries truly reflect wishes of party members and strengthen democratic governance in Nigeria. Well, tonight on Corero, we're looking at all of these old issues and try to x-ray the party primaries in general. Well, like I said before, we have in the studio the presence of Comrade Jacob Okbanachi. Well, Comrade Jacob, it's a delight to have you join us on Corero.
Thank you for having me.
Well,
Good evening.
Good evening. So, Comrade Jacob, let's
Yes.
even dive into the conversation. So far, the primaries have begin.
Yes.
How will you even assess the primaries in general? What we're seeing right now, is this what we bargain for? Is this what Nigerians should give a thumb up to as it stands right now?
Well, I think it's important for us to actually look through the fundamental basis of the current form of primaries, which is the direct primary, as it were. And making this statement, I want to say that it would have been the best form of the participatory nature of primaries, which makes party members inclusive. But unfortunately, what we see is a serious abuse of the process across board. And it becomes necessary that we still have to undergo some electoral reform where our leadership recruitment process will be embedded with much of political education to the holders of the party, which are Congress members. And this is so because over time we have seen that the delegate system of election have not yielded the needed trickling of the democratic values to party membership, as it were. But unfortunately, like it has become, it has been over-manipulated that even against the wish of the common party members, the primaries is just a shadow of what we expect. And I beg to say that more reforms is needed if primaries, with respect to direct primaries, is what we are witnessing in the current time, where people that ordinarily should emerge are being seen maintaining the last seat of the game, as it were.
So you think at this point in time that the primaries is not fair, it's not transparent, and it's not...
Of course, you and I have witnessed them on the media where the counting are not properly done. If they were properly done, some people may not emerge, while the people that emerge eventually wouldn't
But these
have
primaries
emerged.
has also been able, a lot of Nigerians so far have said this is one of the best primaries so far because...
Well, in all fairness, in modality, it is one of the best. But in practice as it is now, there's an abuse of that privilege that afforded us by the Electoral Act amendment.
So going by the whole
process
right now, looking at the members of the House of Representatives that were denied a ticket, looking at the senators that are not returning back to the House based on the fact that they were not cleared even on their primaries. At this point, you think that this is not the best primary?
Yeah, for clearance, that is ordinarily based on qualification and other factors that are put in place by party mechanism to be able to scrutinize their membership. But for those that do not return on vote, sometimes I will have to disagree with some of them. Well, I agree with some of them. I agree with some of them on the basis that their popularity did not count. Why I disagreed on some of them? Because there is an overbearing influence of a particular interest against the wishes of the masses and want to twist them into ensuring that their own personal candidates emerge.
Well, let's look at the primaries from state and geopolitical perspective.
Yes.
Now, if we take it from the state, how will you assess the primaries even from the state-wide arrangement?
Well, the statewide arrangement, of course, ordinarily, the electoral law with this have helped to devolve the powers of leadership selective process, where citizens are involved in choosing their leader once you are a party member and a card-carrying member and a voter in your political party. You are sure to be participating in choosing who should lead you. But still, we still find it that it has been over-manipulated. If you look at the shady counting nature that occurred in some of the polling units, you will laugh at it. Somebody will count from 1 to 10 and jump to start counting 70, 80, 90, 100 to you jump to 500 and so on and so forth. I give you an example. In Kogi State, where I come from, which I will not refuse to mention, most especially Kogi East Senatorial District, there was something similar that have happened in the senatorial primaries that just went on, where Senator Jibrin Echocho, who is the popular candidate of the masses because of the gap he has filled. I'm telling you, the man did his best. This is a man that gave both ongoing and completed about 15 20-bed clinics to his senatorial district with boreholes scattered all over, transformers, farming equipment and caterpillars, tractors, to 9 local governments as a lawmaker, not an executive. I think for the APC in Kogi State, it will be a shame that anybody will say Senator Chocho is defeated. Yes, he is not, because I believe the results are going to be announced very soon by the party headquarters. But for the kind of shoddy attack he had, to the extent that the so-called people that claim they have won have shown on social media, as it were, which we're not going to judge by, it shows that, yes, they have not even felt the impact because somebody wants something else, while the people want something else. And it's going to be the wish of the people against the wish of the people that wanted somebody else than what the people want. Of course, somebody that has served 2 terms in Senate and want to return, and you want to deny him, it doesn't work. I'm telling you, APC will make a grand mistake in Kogi State if Senator Echocho is denied the ticket of running for a 3rd time, because there is a peculiarity in Kogi East Senatorial District that informed the love of the people for Senator Jibrin Issa Echocho, which is the fact that being the largest population in the state, they still do not have governorship. And yet, for the senator that is coming from there not to be a ranking senator is an abuse on the collective integrity of even the common man from Kogi East Senatorial District.
Well, since you've taken us to Kogi State and you've taken us to Echocho Jibril,
yes,
let's even look and talk about Echocho. For many persons coming
yes.
from Kogi East,
yes,
they say that his ambition to
yes.
be the governor
yes.
of Kogi State,
yes.
it's largely also threatening Ododo's ambition,
yes,
for as a governor.
You are well informed.
And as such,
yes,
Ododo is fighting back.
Of course.
By ensuring that. But bring us up to speed. How correct is all of this narrative?
That is a wrong narrative. Echocho have received the backlash that he's receiving today because of his interest in trying to balance within the fulcrum of the party interest and his own people's interest. I give you an example. He has eulogized Governor Bello, who is the former governor, as the one that have helped him to come to the Senate. And he has always respected Governor Ododo as the one that have made him, that is part of the process that ensures that the state keeps running. But I tell you something, put together, the sitting governor have not performed in Kogi East, as it were, up to what Echocho has done as legacy projects in the Kogi East. In fact, most of his projects are mistaken to be the projects of state government, because each time he does it, he will hand them over to the state leaders, like the local government chairman and party chairman. He has a rice mill in Ibaji, which he handed over to the local government structure there. He had a palm oil mill in Acharu, a community in Kogi State there, and a whole lot of industries, medium-scale industries, like Gari processing industry, cassava processing industry, somewhere in Ankpa. And I have mentioned, the man have built classrooms. And most of these projects are adopted to be felt like it was the state government that is doing. Whereas what he is doing, not laying claims to them, is to be able to close the gap of the inefficiency of the state government in the East, so that the party, APC, will not lose their name, because his interest is to ensure that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu returns. Of course, it would be a grand mistake if such a person is rewarded with something else than making him return as a ranking senator to be of value to his people, for the fact that his people are not having governorship, which is the gap he seeks to close. If the populated people of a state who are well enlightened as Kogi East people do not clamor for their senator to return for a 3rd term to make up for the gap of them not having governor, how can you tell me that they will be in love with an opponent that does not have any political profile?
Well, looking at that primaries,
yes,
did it follow the laid down principles?
It did not even conform to the list standard that can be found anywhere, in my own opinion.
Because a lot of persons that witnessed that primaries,
yes,
will say that it followed through the electoral process.
If you go, for now, the party have not announced.
Party faithfuls that were there,
yes,
confirmed it. But that's not even where I'm going to.
Yes.
The big question is Governor Ododo, in your own perception,
yes,
is he behind all of this?
Of course, it's obvious. It's very obvious, because
to stabilize Kogi East.
Of course, because it has now shown that they do not want a ranking senator from Kogi East. That is what it signifies. Because you can't bring a neophyte into the Senate when you have already a senator that has a good rating and have done his best to ensure that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu maintains a good face with the people of Kogi East, irrespective of any circumstance. And today, you are telling me that that man is not loved by his people when he has used his time to serve and embellish the image of a former governor and the current sitting governor. Of course, he has expressed his fear in one of the videos I saw that the governor are afraid, the governor and his cohort are afraid of him contesting for governorship in the 2027 coming election for Kogi East, which is an off-cycle election. So he's returning to National Assembly. It's a threat to them. And of course, you know, you and I know what it took Senator Karimi to be returned from Kogi Central. Now, you are telling me that you put this man at a disadvantage with his people when, one, in Kogi Central, whoever wins from there is going to be an advantage to the Igbira people, who are the most populated tribe in Kogi Central. By implication, I'm saying that if Governor Bello emerges as their senator, he will be given a rating, even though he may not be a ranking senator. By the virtue of him being a former governor, he will be a rated governor. If Senator Natasha Akpoti, who is strong enough on ground, emerges, it will be a good thing for her people, which means she's a ranking senator. Today, the two people that contested from Kogi West in APC, Senator Samaro and Honorable Samaro and Senator Sunday Karimi, any ones that won from these two places will be an advantage to these people because Honorable Samaro is a former House of Rep member. If he returns to the Senate, he will be a ranking senator. If Karimi, who is there now, who is likely going to return because he has a good profile with both his people and Kogi East, I beg to say that because this is a man that made scholarship available for both his own constituency and another federal constituency, another senatorial district. He made scholarship available to all the senatorial districts. Quality scholarship for education for people in both Central, East, and West. So such a man cannot be denied, which is what they attempted to also do. So in Kogi East now, where we have a ranking senator, you have now attempted, it's an attempt because the party have given directive that all results will be announced at the national headquarters. So whoever is claiming in Kogi East that he has won the election is just a media winning. We are waiting for the instructions from the party secretary to determine who actually won the election.
Let's keep waiting, but then there's this controversy
yes,
that has been surrounding the whole party primary so far.
Yes.
In some federal constituencies
yes,
and states
yes,
across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, we've seen money exchange hands
yes,
in order for delegates to even come out to cast their votes.
Yes.
At this point, can we now say
yes,
that the delegates so far, even on the primaries,
yes,
have been do they still hold relevance, even when it has to do with decision making, or have money and political influence taking over?
You and I understand the politics of money in Nigeria. I told you when I was working with SING, Sustainable Initiative for Nurturing Growth. It's an NGO. I had a project called End Money Politics, EMP. And we had gone to do research and seen that money has a serious factor in affecting the process of our political party and the general public in terms of leadership recruitment in Nigeria. And this effect is that, of course, the weaponization of poverty by politicians have made it so much a gross for people to be able to rely solely on integrity, accountability, and other factors for leadership selection, as it were. And if you keep a people hungry too much, cash becomes a determining factor for their decision, because the velocity of money in our economy is low, and somebody sees money at the moment. Of course, he will be biased at his own personal and influential judgment on issues, as it were. So, coming to ask whether money has an influence, of course, yes, and it did play a serious role in the the ongoing primaries in our country as a whole. Well, unfortunately, on the other hand, you will see that some people that you thought had money lost. We don't know the factors that are responsible, because most of the people that left the city to go contest at home, some of them lost. Some of them have a name, some of them have NGOs. Most importantly, something like the City Boy movement. Most of their candidates lost. The one in my own state, I know, he lost the primaries as it were. So, I think money is not the issue
not
here.
just your state, a few other
A
cities
few other
also
states.
lost. But again, let's speak to the issues of godfatherism
Yes.
As it stands right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is still a factor within the political space as it stands today, even in Nigeria? Let's even take a clue from Kogi State.
Yes. Godfatherism, of course, cannot be eliminated easily until the political mechanism of our selecting our leaders is more defined to contain people's participation without external influence vis-a-vis godfatherism, as it were. Because, of course, in Kogi State, godfatherism factor have dwarfed people's intelligence as it is. People don't even think about what comes up next, because the low and the high of it is that the former governor muzzled a lot of power to himself. That is Governor Yaya Bello, and have been the short caller, let me put it that way, for whoever should emerge, irrespective of senatorial district. And it's unfortunate that with that, democracy is threatened in Kogi State. And I'm trying to bring up something here, that it is unfortunate that if it is allowed to thrive, it's going to lead to an implosion. My word, always, that the people are going to revolt if their wishes are not respected. And I have given an example of Senator Jibrin Issa Chocho. Quote me today on election day. If he is not returned, there might be a protest vote from Kogi East Senatorial District against even the president and any other person, because they will choose to own their own leadership recruitment process as a people.
All right, let's look at the Electoral Act, which also serves as guidelines for the primaries so far. When you look at the primaries that we've seen even from the All Progressive Congress,
yes,
and try to juxtapose the provisions of the Electoral Act,
yes,
you think that the Electoral Act right now is being followed verbatim and literatim?
Like I said, the Electoral Act has one of the best qualities of ensuring that leaders are selected in standard. Yes, there are a lot of faulty part of the Electoral Act, like the places that give sole power for the returning officers to be the deciding factor for whoever won an election, irrespective of the integrity of the voting materials used. If you go into the Electoral Act, you are going to see some clauses that are not good. But with the clause that said the majority of the voters should be the deciders of whoever emerges, it is one of the best. But unfortunately, because the people in power and the godfatherism factor is so much embedded in our politics, it has now reduced the integrity of the primary elections. And yet, what I think is that it can be improved, because this gives a sense of belonging to more people than having a few people select leaders for us. But in this case, because of the weaponization of poverty, like I have said, and the money politics factor, individuals that hold sway are calling shots and forcing and twisting party membership to do the things that are not right, which is equally not germane for our thriving democracy.
So when we look at the generality of the APC primaries,
yes,
across the country,
yes,
there have been outcry
yes,
by a lot of Nigerians,
yes,
that it was marred by irregularities,
yes,
and it did not speak to even the integrity
of
the party.
Yes.
But then, looking at the counting process, like you've mentioned so
Yes.
far, where we see from
You
510
jump from 510 to 50 to 100 to
we've seen
1,000.
all of those counting.
Yes.
But come 2027,
Yes.
is this a litmus test? Is this a caricature of what we are to expect?
Of course, it is. It is, except between now to the election time, the party may design a mechanism to be able to appease and appeal to the people. There are so many factors in the economy now that is witch hunting.
You don't think INEC should probably cancel the whole primaries as it stands?
Yeah,
right now?
with the time frame as it is too short.
Is it the time frame that would determine the quality of
It is not the time frame, but it is the law.
If the primaries are marred
Yes.
with irregularities, and
Yes.
these winners from the primaries
Yes.
are going to be on the ballot,
Yes.
fortunately, unfortunately, they will win in a situation.
Of course, I think the
in
party,
a faulty background.
Yes.
Can we still stand as a people?
It will not. It will, of course, you can't place something on nothing and expect it to stand. As it is now, I think the party themselves, APC, I don't know. I don't want to speak for APC because I'm not a member per se. I'm just sympathetic to a particular cause, which I have visibly and empirically seen what the person have done because he's from my constituency. But generally, I think APC is doing poorly, except that for the reason that they want to rejig the process and give it the face of integrity, which is why they have announced through a circular on Monday, which was yesterday, that all results are to be announced at the national headquarters. So,
Publicity Secretary of APC.
Yes, I think it will help them to be able to look through and say, no, we can't do this. No, we can't do this. Because if such an internal system is not used to purify the selection mode of APC, I think they are on their way out of power.
Well, APC has set the process going right now for
Yes.
party primaries. Of
Yes.
course, ADC forms are still being submitted.
Yes.
NDC forms are being picked.
Yes.
And hopefully before the end of this week, forms will start.
Yes.
They'll start submitting their form in order for them
To engage in their own primaries too. Yes.
But looking at the generality of primaries in
Yes.
Nigeria,
Yes.
has anything changed from 1999 till date?
Well, the only thing that have changed is that
The conduct of the primaries.
the conduct of the primaries.
Has anything changed?
Yeah, the conduct of the primary, the change here that we have witnessed is that rather than the delegate system, we have the non-delegate, which is an all-inclusive kind of primaries. The maximum deviation here comes from the inability of the parties to do it sincerely. And that will affect whoever is going to come on board. And also, what I expect in 2027, and I am predicting with absolute precision, is that we are going to have what I call, in the outcomes of the election, we are going to have what I call a hybridized result, because that is going to be the resultant effect of now people selecting their leadership by quality of the leaders presented, not just mere party symbols, not as mere party card, mandate bearers, but people that have integrity. If you shoot out a man that is supposed to be representing his people, of course, from a popular party, the people will go into other parties to look for a popular person. So it's not going to be the people against the parties. If your party is popular and it chooses a popular candidate, it's a plus for you. If your party is unpopular and chooses a popular person, it's going to be a plus for you. And if your party is popular and he chooses an unpopular candidate, like what I'm talking about, Kogi East, of course, there's going to be a protest vote against APC in Kogi East. I'm not missing word to say this. And it's going to be verifiable because it's going to show. You can't give us in Kogi East somebody that is a neophyte that is going to sit at the back seat of the Senate when we still do not have the governor in the state, and you expect us to vote him. We would rather go for a fresh party.
Well, I believe you're not speaking even for the entirety of
The time will tell.
Indigenous of Kogi,
Time will tell.
Of Kogi East.
Time will tell.
So let's take that to be your opinion.
It's not my opinion. I had a very sensitive group.
Let's take that to be your coming from your own opinion.
From my group's opinion.
Because that might not reflect the entirety.
My group's opinion is what it is.
Are standing for.
Well,
right now.
I think the time will tell.
Well, let the time tell.
Okay.
Most definitely. But then, looking at these all, you've spoken high about the person of Senator Jibril.
Yes.
Churchill.
Yes.
Now, although he's a ranking senator,
yes.
but then looking at his antecedents,
yes.
even in the Senate,
yes.
let's just be fair.
Yes.
To the people of Kogi East.
Yes.
Try to even place his activity simultaneously and antecedents.
Yes.
Simultaneously with that of Natasha Akpotu-Duaha.
Yes.
If you want to place them simultaneously,
yes.
where would you rate Echocho, even in his developmental strides in Kogi East?
The difference is that one has high capacity for media show. The other have the high capacity for deliverables to his community without missing word. Echocho is one of the best performing senators in Kogi State. I am not from APC, and I make bold to say that. Echocho have performed beyond. In fact, most of his projects are mistaken to be state government projects.
So you are saying Natasha has not performed?
She has. To her best right, she has. But for...
Looking at Echocho's track records.
Yes.
For the last 8 years.
Yes.
And looking at Natasha's Duaha Akpoti's performance.
Yes.
In the last 3 years plus.
Yes.
If we try to do a comparative
analysis will have first
a comparative developmental stride.
Yes.
Even between these two persons.
Yes.
For many persons in Kogi East, they will say that Natasha from Kogi Central was the igniting voice that
yes.
made senators from Kogi State to even wake up. Before now, they have dormant senators in Kogi State.
Looking
at all of this, let's
yes.
place them in terms of developmental stride.
Yes.
What are them? If you want to look at it and try to even give it a rating,
yes,
can Echocho's work, Echocho work
yes.
stand the test of time? Even looking at it from the last 8 years.
I make bold to still say that it will. And why did I say so? If you look at the two senators, their coverage in terms of senatorial district do not even have the equal composition of local governments. Echocho is manning up to 9 local governments. And I think Natasha about a number less than that. And Echocho attends to all his local government, as it were, with respect to genuine projects that, if I have to reel out the list, we may stay here today without leaving. And I have made mention of some, and those are sensitive. This man built classrooms. I'm not talking about renovation. He has projects of road construction in process. He had built hospitals, let me say 20-bed clinics in 15 communities of the states. He has a rice mill to his name. He has an oil processing mill. If you are talking about street light, solar light, it's uncountable. You can't mention the places that Echocho give street light. Are you talking of motorized borehole? In Ankpa, about 8 to 9 communities are enjoying motorized borehole from Senator Jibril inside Echocho. My former secondary school, enjoys privileges of motorized borehole and a bus. This is scattered across Kogi East Senatorial. His performance with respect to deliverables are many. And like I have said, he has this habit of respecting the balance of party respect, that each time he does these things, he gives them to the political party and the chairman.
Comrade, if you agree with me that if you get to Dekina right now,
yes,
and let's not even travel to Ankpa.
Yes.
Let's even begin from Dekina.
Yes.
And get to Aingba.
Yes.
Then we get to maybe Ida.
Yes.
Then traveling down to
Olamaboro.
Let's go and get to Olamaboro. Then
yes.
moving down to you saying that his impact has been felt for the last 8 years.
Yes.
Will members, indigenes of Kogi, especially the Igala-speaking people,
Yes.
you think they will agree with this your submission that you're making right
Absolutely,
now?
totally.
I'm asking because the last time I was able to tour Aigba,
Yes.
some of the things that I saw as firsthand
Mm-hmm.
doesn't even speak to the issue of even having a
Development.
representative.
Yes.
Because Aingba is almost, apart from the Kogi State University,
Yes.
you will agree with me that from Aingba markets down, it still
Yes.
look like a place that is an abandoned community.
Thank you very much.
So looking at all of this,
Yes.
the governor has not been, according to you, efficient
Yes.
in provision of good governance
Yes.
to Kogi East.
Yes.
But then they have a senator, they have
Yes.
members of
House of Reps. Yes.
can we say in general that this election reflects, or the primaries reflects, the loud failures of members of all of these
That is
principal officers?
the perceived assumption, and that is the price of what those who are interested in changing power paid for. They have a very strong propaganda against the sitting senator and other people for them not to return because of their own lack of performance. Let me land.
I wasn't paid, I traveled.
No, I know.
I paid my fare.
No.
Please
Let me land. What I'm trying to say here is that the legislative functions and oversights and constituency projects have limitations. Apart from that, the state government has budget. Outside all these things I have mentioned that the church have done, which one can we say the state government have done? My local government, the Kina local government takes up to 700 million at some stage and takes up to 600 million. Is it too costly for the chairman if absolutely they are engaged in post-autonomy of local government payment schedule? Is it too much for the local government chairman of Dekina to repair from the roundabout down to wherever it's spoiled? Are we going to call the senator to do everything when we have a state governor? Those things are resided within the public information that they view in view of local government and state development should be done by the governor.
You don't think that the primaries reflect the will
It does not.
the people?
It does not. I still say it. It is an attempt to place a people over other people, and I keep on repeating it. Let me still say it. How can
Churchill
yes
became the senator?
Yes.
Let's place it. Let's do a comparative analysis again.
Yes.
Since Churchill became the senator
Yes.
representing Kogi
East. Yes.
has the senatorial district experienced massive development, or it's enjoying pockets of development?
Massive development is relative, and massive development in this term, what is his constituency budget compared to state government's budget? I'm still coming back to that. Comparatively, whatever he is going to do will not make sense if the state government is doing nothing at all. I posted Ankpa local government budget on my Facebook today, and it is 607 million, over 607 million naira for the month of March. Tell me, if you get to Ankpa today, the local government is not having any project of 300 million going on.
Well,
the wage bill of the local government.
For once, at least both of us have been able to get to this, be on the same page.
Yes.
To say that the Kenya local government is almost, I don't want it to be uncharitable.
Yes.
To say that it is backward. But
yeah, because no matter what the senator does, it is not going to be visible because the complementary aspect of governance is not witnessed. The local government is not doing anything. The state government is not, the presence is not felt in those two places. So how can one senator be able to move around the 9 local government for him to be the only one to bring the development that is needed to push the state forward? It's not done. Let the complementary effort of the state government and local government be witnessed. Then we can judge him.
Can we say the same thing for other 47 members of the House of Assembly and also Senate that were not cleared?
Yes.
We say the same thing for Ola, that it's largely because their efforts were not complementary. That's why
I think
saw
most
what played out.
importantly, we could say to a great extent that that is what the factor is. I had mentioned something earlier that must not be taken. Now, we should not forget to put into cognizance. This is 2025, 2026, 2024, 2025, and partly 2026 budget have not been implemented up to 10%. So, I led a protest yesterday to the Office of the Accountant General and the Office of the Minister of Finance to state clearly that there is a serious effect of the accounting system that the government have attempted to breach its own law. Financial regulatory law states in 3101, 3129, 3130 that accounting expenditures and payment should be done by host MDAs. Today, we have seen where Accountant General of the Federation is the only one paying all contractors for 1,000 MDAs. How can development trickle?
Well, comrade.
The same thing with the flagrant abuse of Section 16 and Section 20.
Comrade, we will definitely get into that conversation, but let's say today is not that day.
No, I'm trying to bring a factor that have led...
Because I'm being signaled that our time is already
unfortunately, but that would have been the factor that have led to the government effects not being felt by the common man.
A lot of questions to ask even about the primaries, but again, we don't have the luxury of time to, to dive in all
I look forward to coming back someday.
We'll definitely bring you back. I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Jacob of Manachi.
Thank you
for finding out time to be with us here on Corero.
Thank you.
All right. Well, viewer, this is how far we can go tonight on Corero. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comments on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the RapidTV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Bye for now.